Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to come on for a moment, and actually it's interesting. It's been maybe a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, this topic came into my head because there was an article published in regards to Kevin Hunter, and he wanted spousal support to be put back into place. And I guess it's not even spousal support because they're divorced now. So I'm assuming it's alimony that he is wanting her to start back paying, even though Wendy Williams no longer has her show. And they were showing where he was saying that he needed that money, he didn't have anything coming in, and that basically he's broke without Wendy's money coming in. And I went to the comment section and people were going in. But what I really found interesting was that this guy mistreated Wendy. He disrespected her by cheating, having a baby on her with someone else, buying a home for him and the young lady, getting her a car, like just really setting the woman up. So he secured her, but hadn't secured himself. So I just thought it was very interesting that for him to have cheated on his meal ticket, which is Wendy Williams, since he was her manager and everything, I would have thought he would have been smarter about making sure his money was right and tight, and also developing businesses outside of her, since to me it seems like he was already exiting because he had his foot or one of his feet already out the door, because you create a whole new life for yourself outside of your wife, Wendy, and you set this lady up. And it's interesting because I don't even know who filed for divorce between those two. But anyway, the judge denied his request and he was complaining about it or whatever. So, they had the article. But as I was thinking about that, I was like, you know what? A lot of times women get labeled as gold diggers and for requesting money from their partners, their boyfriends or whatever. But no one ever talks about the men that are gold diggers. There are men out here casing out women as well and using them too. I mean, as I began to think about Kevin, her ex-husband, and I remember her mentioning how she had lost certain business deals because she had everything going through him. She really allowed him to have a lot of power in her life. And I think that's true of many of us when we have a partner. Even with Mary J. Blige, her husband had a job prior to her, but she put him as manager as well. And I can remember at the end there, this guy that seemed so great for her. I remember we were all so happy that, Mary J. Blige had found love, and, Keanu seemed so perfect for her because he wasn't in that business world or that singing world, So now she had him managing her. And then at the end, things got really ugly. I think it was in 2016, when he was requesting money, and he was just trying to literally drain her. She said she was practically almost broke, you know, going through that divorce. And I think he had mismanaged funds as her manager. And so that's why she was on tour. She was on all those tours singing. And I remember hearing her, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, she's going to wear herself out. And, you know, but she was doing it because she had to, you know. But not only that, I thought about even Sherry Shepherd with her husband. I remember when she was going through her divorce, how her husband, her ex-husband at the time, and I think they ended up going through a surrogate to have a baby, how he kept coming at her. And it seemed kind of money hungry-ish, you know, the way he kept coming at her, and then there was things being put out. So as I was thinking about this, I was like, you know, that's just not happening to celebrities, though. That is happening, period. The times have changed. Our socioeconomic statuses as women have changed. We no longer just depend on men. Many of the women are breadwinners and head of households. And so we have to be very cautious when we are out here dating, because just like we see great things in men, they see those great things in us. And they may view some of us as a meal ticket to get to where they are going. And it may not always be financial. It could be education-wise. It could be status. I think about some of my friends where one comes to mind where they have a lot of properties and they have construction things and they flip and make money. And I can remember her having certain boyfriends when we were younger. They seem to take to me, they weren't as good to her, but they seem to take a really big liking to her father and him teaching them how to do things with their hands and how to work on houses. Those are things or skill sets you can take anywhere and that are very valuable. We have to be mindful, more mindful this day and age, because if we're being completely honest, men can be gold diggers too, and they can be users. And as I thought about this, I started to think about, okay, what things should we be looking out for when we are dating? And yeah, what should we be looking out for? And this is just a few things that came to my mind. I thought about, okay, number one, if you're out here dating men or women or whatever, but dating the opposite sex, anytime as a woman you're the only one paying for everything, that should spring up a red flag. If he never has money to take you out ever, and your money is his money and his money is his money, that's a flag. That he could potentially be using you for your funds. If he's having to ride in your car, drive your car all the time, and he doesn't have a car of his own, there should be a concern. Now, I know as partners, when we get together, we do share certain things, but if there is no reciprocity and it's all on you, that should raise a red flag. Another one. Does his actions align with his words? Does his love come with attachments? And what I mean by that, maybe attachments is the wrong word. And I can't find the word, what I'm thinking about. I guess, does his love come with strings attached? Maybe, yeah, that's a better word but that's not the word I'm looking for. But anyway, is he only willing to love you when it's convenient, when everything is going well, when he's getting everything he wants, and then when you say no, the love is turned off? That's not love. Another one I thought about was, do you ever see him lying or cheating or stealing from others? I can't remember who said it, but they said if he'll lie, he'll cheat. And if he'll cheat, he'll steal. And if he'll steal, he'll kill. And I can't remember who that was I was listening to. Was that MJ Harris? Might have been MJ Harris. Maybe so. But yeah, think about that. How does he treat others? Because eventually that could be how he eventually tries to treat you. And it made me think about that, because I can remember I had watched like the Wendy Williams story, and she talked about Kevin and how he was this big guy, how he moved his weight and how he pushed people around and how he made things happen. And she just loved that about him. But you see, those same things that she thought was so great about him is the same things he continued to do behind her back and made her lose business opportunities. And it's the same things he's still continuing to do now to push and get her money back in his pocket, because he didn't have a backup plan outside of Wendy's money. Apparently, he didn't do anything additional. Another one. Ask and see about his goals. See if he has any goals outside of you. Because the goal could be just to land you, get in your house, and put his feet up and chill. That could be the goal. Nothing else. Another one. Check his friends out. See what they are about. Because I hate to say it, and I never even, it's so funny. Before I got married and divorced, I didn't really believe that birds of a feather flock together, because I thought my mate was different. But also, I recognize that I have friends that I'm just not like, like even though we would hang out, we're not exactly alike. So I did not think that it was imperative that they be the exact same as my mate. So I was okay with, well, he does this, he cheats, do you talk to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, there were certain things that came up that I would say, did you address that with your friend? Did you talk to your friend about that? And he may tell me that was none of his business. But now that I'm older, I do recognize that sometimes birds of a feather do flock together, not always, But yeah, check it out. Also, check his nest. Where does he come from? Does he have siblings or parents that are users? I think that is a good way to gauge as well, because sometimes people come from those kind of backgrounds of trying to get over, and you'll realize it much later. But or you may separate the two and say, oh, this person is different, they're not like that because they have a great paying job, or they're they're like this, where in theory their foundation could be that. And if their foundation is one that comes from people that like to get over on other people or that are users, then that can most definitely show up in your relationship later. Another one, is he hardworking or is he hardly working? Okay, some people, they get jobs, they stay on them, and they continue to move up, or they job hop and they get better jobs. Other people find excuses to not get a job, ever. They blame it on someone else, nothing's out here I can do, which at the end puts all the pressure on you. Now, if you're a woman that doesn't mind being used, then, totally ignore this video. It is not for you. But if you're a woman that is looking for someone that is going to add to you, that's going to be an asset, not just a leech, then take those things into consideration, because there's enough stress out here in life. You don't need an additional mouth to feed if you can afford to. And even if you can't afford to, I think there are so many people out here that are loving and willing to give. And it may not always be financial. It could be spiritual. It could be in other ways they can feed you. But even in those areas, you have to see if they're stingy in that area. Like, there's something worse than a stingy ass man, okay? But anyway, I hope you found this video helpful. I just wanted to come on and say that real quickly, because I kept seeing it in various places. Even when I think about Tia and Tamara, I think about Tia, who she married. And not to say that that young man, Corey, used her or anything, but I think about how much more successful she has been as far as in the acting world, and that's the world he's also in too. And I remember, this just came to my mind, but it was so interesting. People were saying when they got divorced about how happy she was, how she just seemed so much freer and lighter. And, people have to realize that when you are partnered with the wrong person, it can impact you in every capacity, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. It really hits all areas. And I think people were trying to point it out that she was so happy, but they have to realize that that feels like a weight off your shoulder. You don't realize how heavy someone is and what you're taking in from them, because when you have someone in the household with you, you're taking in their energy, and you don't even realize what all you're taking in until you're able to release and let go. And so I was excited and proud of her for letting go of something that she felt like she could not do anymore. A lot of us stay in these relationships because we feel like we have to. We feel like, oh my gosh, it's been 10 years. We have 2 children. We have to stay together. And sometimes that's just not healthy. It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for your children. And the last thing you want to do is teach your children how to not be happy, how to hold on to something just because of time, just because society says you should. Stand up for yourself, release yourself, set yourself free if you need to. And everybody won't understand it, but it's not meant for everyone else to understand. It's meant for you. That's between you and God, not between you and people. So you guys have an amazing Thursday. Stay in peace, stay positive, and stay empowered. Bye.